Abby Sterkowitz, and I'm majoring in speech language hearing sciences. I heard about the virtual international internship, and it just seemed like a good fit. And then seeing that there were things so focused in like healthcare made me even more interested in it, to see that it was something that I'd be interested in pursuing. Culturally, it was a really cool experience, and like we learned a lot. We were treated with such respect, and they were like willing to teach us and everything. The only critique I have about the academic side of it was it did feel more like a course than an internship, just because a lot of it was, like reading articles and then writing like a 3-page paper summarizing what you learned. And the doctors would often like give a presentation and then we'd go tour the hospital type thing. So I do consider it more of a course type experience in this particular internship, which again, super cool experience. It was just different than an internship. Comparing how things work here in the United States and then comparing how it worked in Ecuador, and just seeing how different things are, like it really makes you appreciate what you have and like the opportunities you're given. And then when you see countries that are dealing with a lot different of circumstances, it's definitely something to take into consideration of how blessed we really are, and how much we are given and what we have access to. I would say just getting to interact with the 2 doctors we worked with, and then people who were in the rural area. We would do a lot of video tour type things. So getting to actually see people who are on the job and like in the environment that they work in. It wasn't just like listening to someone talk and lecture about something. You actually got to see it and kind of like walk through the hospital or walk through the community. So I think that was the most like helpful thing, was just to see things and hear from people who are actually working in those types of situations. My favorite moment was, again, those video tours. So we actually got to see actual baby get a physical exam after birth. And I think that was a really cool thing, because I don't know where else I would get that opportunity to see something like that. Or if I did, it'd be really hard to find that opportunity. So that was definitely a really cool thing, to see an actual doctor examining an actual baby and kind of walk us through the process of how they go through that. We got to read a lot of articles and just watch a lot of videos that helped us to understand the healthcare in Ecuador. And that was probably the most helpful thing, so that when we did get to go through those video tours and kind of hear from other doctors and stuff, we had some like knowledge going in of what they were talking about. I definitely still want to be in the medical field, so I think it's just kind of like solidified that, and it's giving me like things to look forward to, just seeing healthcare and like being able to like follow someone around a hospital. That makes me like so much more excited to be doing that someday. It is so much different than doing something in person. It's also different than doing something online in Minnesota. But when you're working internationally, there's gonna be like some bumps in the roads, obviously. So just communication is really key. A lot of us in our small group talked about just being like proactive with your communication, because there is the time difference. So if you have a question, send it immediately versus waiting, minimizing the time you have for a response. So again, just be proactive with communication, be okay with being slightly uncomfortable, and like be willing to like work through the bumps in the road.